In the mythical age when gods and mortals mingled freely, there lived a man whose name would echo through legend, Memnon, the courageous king of Ethiopia. Today, we travel back in time when gods lived with men and fought one another in the epic battlegrounds of ancient mythology. Memnon was born of divine parentage. His mother was Eos, the radiant goddess of the dawn. She fell in love with Tithonus, a mortal prince of Troy, and brought him to her palace at the edges of the world. There she lay with him and conceived Memnon. Raised far from the walls of Troy, upon the distant shores of Oceanus in Ethiopia, Memnon exhibited extraordinary strength and valor even as a child. He trained relentlessly, honing his skills in spear throwing, archery, swordsmanship, and hand-to-hand combat. His divine heritage endowed him with uncanny speed, agility, and strength. Tales of his martial prowess spread far and wide. When Memnon came of age, he ascended to the throne of Ethiopia. He proved an effective and honorable ruler, bringing prosperity to his people through just governance and military might. Songs praising the legend of brave King Memnon resonated throughout the lands. Eos, proud of her son's achievements, asked the smith god Hephaestus to forge him armor and weaponry fitting his demigod status. The steadfast bronze cuirass and gleaming helm that Hephaestus crafted would become synonymous with Memnon's legend. Yet destiny called Memnon to a greater test, war in a distant land entwined with his divine heritage. The Trojan War raged half a world away, pitting the great city of Troy against the massed Greek forces. King Priam of Troy, his city besieged by the Greek armies led by Agamemnon and Achilles, sent envoys entreating Memnon for aid against their common foe. Memnon faced a difficult choice. Should he abandon the peace and prosperity of his own kingdom to fight alongside the Trojans against impossible odds? Many counseled him to remain in Ethiopia rather than be drawn into this faraway war. Yet Memnon could not ignore the Trojans' pleas. Troy, after all, was the kingdom of his grandfather Tithonus. Furthermore, he valued honor and loyalty above all else. Leaving Troy to its fate would stain his reputation forever. Memnon made his decision. He would go to Troy's aid. He assembled a vast army, a seemingly inexhaustible force drawn from his lands. After making preparations, Memnon and his warriors set sail for Troy's distant shores to fulfill their oath of allegiance. The weary Trojans were heartened by the arrival of the noble Ethiopian king and his magnificent army. Unlike the Greek champion Achilles, who joined the war after his friend's death, Memnon came to Troy out of duty and honor. He asked no favors in return for helping to defend Troy's glory. Achilles, the legendary demigod who defined Greek might, took interest in the newly arrived Memnon and moved to confront him on the battlefield. As dawn broke, the two champions faced one another before their assembled armies. Their god-forged armor shone brilliantly in the morning light. Memnon in his celestial bronze panoply from Hephaestus, Achilles in that same smith god's famous set that had protected him through years of warfare. By decree of Zeus, no divine aid would influence this epic duel between demigods. The pantheon watched enthralled as Achilles and Memnon clashed in a contest of mortal skill. Memnon and Achilles dueled from daybreak to high noon. Their spear thrusts resounded across the plains. Their clashing shields rang like thunder. Trading devastating blows, neither relented. Achilles' famed skill met Memnon's unrelenting power as their duel raged without pause. The gods themselves were transfixed by the spectacle unfolding between these peerless warriors. At times, the advantage shifted from Achilles to Memnon as one gained a momentary upper hand, only to see the situation reverse again in a deadlock between their might. As the sun climbed high, the contest remained undecided, but the battle's end drew inevitably nearer. Memnon gained a momentary advantage, his spear piercing Achilles' leg and drawing godly ichor. But the enraged Achilles rallied, fighting through the pain and pushing Memnon back. At last, Achilles seized upon a fleeting weakness in Memnon's guard, summoning all his legendary strength into one decisive spear thrust that pierced Memnon's armor and chest. With a cry that seemed to shake heaven itself, mortally wounded Memnon sank to his knees. As the lifeblood drained from his divine veins, Memnon's thoughts were only of Troy and the sacred honor that had brought him to this fate. A pall of silence fell over the Trojans and Ethiopians. The legendary clash between Memnon and Achilles had ended, etching their names in mythology for all time. While Troy mourned the loss of its loyal champion, Ethiopia grieved its fallen king. On Olympus, the gods marveled at the transcendent courage and skill displayed between these two demigods. Their legendary duel would live on in song and story forevermore, a testament to Memnon's honor and the sacrifice he made for glory's sake. Some trace this mythic battle's origins back millennia, but Memnon and Achilles' showdown continues to capture imaginations. Their godlike clash inspired 2004's cinematic showdown between DC's iconic heroes in Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. The timeless appeal of two larger-than-life champions facing off, portraying the epic struggle between honor, duty, and justice, resonates through the ages. Like the Dark Knight and the Man of Steel, Memnon and Achilles dueled as avatars of competing peoples and ideals. Their mythic fight atop the walls of Troy pitted Ethiopia against the Greeks, ally against invaders, and demigod against demigod. Just as Batman and Superman's battle raised philosophical questions of power and accountability, so too did Memnon and Achilles' mythic clash embed itself in the cultural consciousness, reverberating for eons. Yet, amidst the grandeur of the Trojan War and the celestial clash of titans, Memnon was an invisible legend to many outside the ancient Ethiopian lands. His deeds and noble character were often overshadowed by the renowned names of Greek heroes and the tales of their exploits. Memnon, a king from distant Ethiopia, had ventured far from his homeland to heed the call of duty and friendship, leaving behind a legacy that resonated with honor, loyalty, and selflessness. While his story may have remained hidden in the shadows of history, it serves as a testament to the presence of African heroes in the legendary narratives of the ancient world, a reminder that greatness knows no boundaries, and true legends endure, whether they are illuminated by the spotlight of history or remain cloaked in the mists of time.